what do we need to be doing in the future so that we can understand each other better and meet the needs of the Cameroonian community.
With greater understanding, we'll know that the community, the police, and all the other services are there to serve us.
Like when many immigrants come here, they should really have a way of really integrating themselves into the region, into the community without much problems.
Today's town hall meeting is being held to reach out to the growing Cameroonian community in our area and to enhance community relations. Welcome everyone, I'm Susan Lebrun with more on how public officials and residents are improving relations to enhance our community.
Well, good afternoon to our distinguished guests, our elected officials, and members of the Cameroon community. I'm Bruce Romer, Chief Administrative Officer for Montgomery County, and it is my honor and privilege to welcome all of you to our regional Cameroon Town Hall meeting. You know, often the very best ideas for serving our residents come from members of the community. At a meeting that we held with the Njang family and supporters on August 26, 2004, you suggested that a town hall meeting would be an ideal way for county officials to learn more about the Cameroon community and for you to learn more about us. Well, we made a commitment at that time, and we are here today to honor that commitment. We hope that we have planned an informative and an interactive meeting. Our goal is to build collaborative relationships and partnerships and strong working relationships through face-to-face contact and conversation. This meeting is an opportunity for you to discover the numerous ways to kind of navigate within the county government system so that you can connect with our services, our resources, and our programs. So at this time, we'd like to call the Regional Cameroon Town Hall meeting to order. And I'm pleased to introduce our program moderator for today, Ms. Emma Osong.
Well, I'm hoping that first of all, we have an opportunity to build relationships. There is a perception in our community that there is a disconnect between the Cameroonian community and the government officials. So this, to me, is a historic occasion to bring the Cameroonian community together to begin to forge collaboration and citizen involvement at the grassroots level.
Emma Osong is co-founder and CEO of Z-Tech Consulting and Training Incorporated. That is an information technology consulting company based in the District of Columbia, which provides IT consulting services. Emma is also co-owner of Elite Communications, a company that provides high-speed voice, data, and internet services using voice over IP in developing countries. She is currently a doctoral candidate at the University of Phoenix in the School of Advanced Studies, where she's majoring in organizational management and leadership. She has supported clients in the federal, state, local, and private sectors in a variety of roles. And Emma, of course, is very active in her community. Please welcome Emma Osong. Emma.
Thank you for those very kind words, Mr. Romer. Honorable Dr. Duncan, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow brothers and sisters, it is indeed a privilege and honor for me to serve as your program moderator this afternoon. I am grateful and very honored to be here today, and I hope each one of you feel the same. I want to first start by extending a collective welcome and gratitude and sincere thanks for the Honorable Dr. Duncan for taking this time to be with us here today. Let me also say I want to congratulate each one of you for recognizing the importance of this occasion and making the time to be here. As they say where I come from, by showing up, you own up to your responsibilities. Permit me to begin with a few truisms here. And I'm going to try and make this short because there are plenty of important things down the pike for us this afternoon. It has been said that the America land here is like a tapestry woven from a collection of threads of different colors. What is important is that that tapestry doesn't change very much except for the shape we give it, the shape we opt to give it. Crevecoeur also said to this fact that the American family is a man whose grandfather was a Dutch, the wife an English woman, whose son married a French person, and whose 4 current sons have wives from each of the 4 continents around the world, as far-flung as South Africa, Europe, even North America, Asia. Your guess is as good as mine who their children will eventually marry, just to give you an idea. We as first and second generation Cameroonian immigrants face a challenge as we try to relate our cultural values to the values of our newfound land. And that's not a simple task. We are faced with many difficulties. One thing is clear. We are changing that tapestry as much as that tapestry is changing us. This is an inescapable truth. The question, my brothers and sisters, is whether we are going to be co-creators of that fabric that makes this the greatest place I call home, I have the privilege of calling home, or are we going to be idle bystanders? Symbolically, I want to acknowledge that it's very important that you and I are here today, along with our elected officials, as we today take the time to contemplate our past and collectively deliberate our present and anticipate future things down the line. Our objective this afternoon is very simple and clear: to promote our various communities as centers of opportunities, centers of leadership, centers of entrepreneurship, and centers of good governance. Therefore, this opportunity this afternoon is our opportunity here to begin to forge at the grassroots level collaboration and relationship building. Some would argue, rightly or wrongly, that the Cameroonian community has become somewhat disengaged from its elected officials. Perhaps situations that are complicated by the strains of cultural differences and changes, or perhaps financial stresses. That notwithstanding, we have here today the opportunity to begin to make that connection with our leaders. And we're choosing to do so by the numbers that I see represented here. As I said, we can choose to become engaged or choose to become disengaged. And by your presence here, you're acknowledging to become engaged. Again, our objectives are very simple this afternoon: our development one person at a time. And as we tend to put responsibilities on our elected officials, we too, as citizens of our various communities, have a lot of responsibilities. What I would say is, and I'm sure you would agree, that our communities, what we do in it, how we behave, is a measure of its value. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, to that end, we're here today to learn, to dialogue, to listen, to ask questions. I hope you have many questions to ask our panel, as we've assembled a very diverse group of individuals today to talk to us and to listen to us. And I hope that we are here, as I said, to truly engage each other in dialogue, ask questions, and perhaps offer a few answers of our own. And as I move forward, ladies and gentlemen, I will be coming from time to time to the podium to discuss the modality of our second panel, as you have in your programs. And now, before I conclude, I'd like to call to the podium the Reverend Dring, pastor of the Silver Spring Presbyterian Church, to deliver the invocation. Thank you.
God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not be afraid. Let us pray. O God, there are times when the burdens of life lie heavy on our shoulders and weigh us down, and the road seems dreary and endless, the skies gray and threatening, when our lives have no music in them, and our hearts are lonely, and our souls have lost their courage. Flood the path with light, turn our eyes to where the skies are full of promise. Tune our hearts to brave music. Give us the sense of comradeship with heroes and saints of every age, and so quicken our spirits that we may be able to encourage the souls of all who journey with us on the road of life. Amen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move into the next section of our program, which is the singing of the national anthem. Is Miss Fosi Moki? Please come to the stage. She will be singing the United States anthem, and I will ask each one of you to rise for that.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Miss Moki. Thank you for that well-sung national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please may I ask you to remain standing as we are going to proceed into singing the Cameroonian national anthem. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce a group of girls that I feel very proud to be part of, because they are my alma mater, Our Lady of Lourdes Secondary School, ex-students in bright red. Of course, I'm partial and I'm introducing them first. They will be accompanied, of course, by the Bafang Cultural Women Group in the beautiful olive. I'm colorblind. And I will ask them also to come on stage at this time. And for those of you who are not aware, Cameroon is one of the two bilingual countries in the world, Canada being the other, French and English. So our national anthem will be sung in French and English. Ladies and gentlemen, the stage is yours. you, ladies, for that beautifully sung national anthem. Thank you.
I'm very pleased to be able to acknowledge the presence of some special guests today. Please welcome Councilmember Steve Silverman. Also, Delegate Herman Taylor is here with us today. And we're also pleased we have representatives here from Councilmember Tom Perez's office. Barbara Flack-Darko is here, and she says that Tom may be arriving a little bit later in the day. And also we have Robert Friedman with us today, who is representing Congressman Chris Van Hollen. Thank you very much for being here. We also want to acknowledge Mr. Fawn Anyang Wei IV, who is the culture king of the Cameroonian community. And also Valmi Awasum, who is Miss Cameroon Global. Also with us today, Montgomery County Chief of Police Tom Manger. Montgomery County Fire Chief Tom Carr. Representing the Metropolitan Police Department, Commander Hilton Burton. And representing the Prince George's County Police Department, Lieutenant John Decker. Thank you all for being here. We're also very pleased today to be able to provide a number of exhibits and materials from various departments of Montgomery County government. And I want to acknowledge and mention to you those of our staff who are here today who are helping us provide information to you that I hope will be helpful. With us today is Odessa Shannon, who is the director of our Human Rights Department, Anise Brown. Odessa? Next, Anise Brown, who is director of the Up-County Regional Services Center. I'm sorry, Anise is director of the Eastern Montgomery County Regional Services Center. Also with us today, the chair of our Human Rights Commission, Jackie Simon. Jackie. The director of our Human Resources Department, Joe Adler. And special assistant to the county executive, Connie Latham. Connie. We appreciate all you special individuals being here today on this very special occasion. Now it's my privilege to introduce a very important person in Montgomery County life and Montgomery County government, our county executive, Douglas M. Duncan.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this very important meeting. Bruce, thank you very much for that introduction. Thank you for spearheading the organizing of this meeting. I want to thank Prince George's County Executive Jack Johnson, Mayor of the District of Columbia Tony Williams, for partnering with us today to present this regional town meeting. I think this is another example of how we as a region are working together to enhance the quality of life for all of our residents. I want to thank Ambassador Manduga for his support for this meeting as well. I'm sorry that he was called away today and was not able to be with us, but I want to thank him for his sponsorship and his support. But most importantly, I want to thank all of you here. I want to thank the members of the Cameroonian community for coming out here today, for making this town hall meeting such a success. Montgomery County, along with Prince George's County and the District of Columbia, we're very proud to have a long tradition of welcoming new residents and new immigrants into our communities. And as Montgomery County has grown to be the largest jurisdiction in the state of Maryland, we've done so by being as inclusive as possible. I think the very high school that we're sitting in today is the largest and one of the most diverse student populations in the county and indeed in the state of Maryland. There are students from over 160 nations in schools in Montgomery County. We have incredible diversity here, and yet with the most diverse school system in the state, we're also seeing the highest SAT scores, the highest advanced placement scores in state history. I think that shows our commitment to and our determination to embrace our diversity and recognize it for the benefits that it brings to all of us. And the school system is a microcosm of our county at large. As you saw earlier today by walking through the displays of county and regional resources, everyone on this stage, everyone at those displays is committed and dedicated to help the growing Cameroonian community. We offer an incredible array of programs and initiatives, housing assistance, both for rentals and for home buyers, employment training and job search assistance, how to open your own business, continuing education and English language classes, health care and prescription drug programs, consumer protection initiatives, and many, many more. And for those of you who didn't get a chance to see the displays, there'll be another chance to do so after the program today. I urge you to take advantage of this opportunity to walk through the displays, to talk to the representatives there, to gather information and bring that information home with you. One of the reasons that we wanted to have this town hall meeting was to be able to get the word out on all the resources and programs available through Montgomery County, Prince George's County, and the District of Columbia. The other very important reason for this meeting is to make sure that the lines of communication between the local governments and the Cameroonian community remain open and easily accessible. As with any community anywhere in the world, there will be times, unfortunate times, when isolated events occur. The key to ensuring that these events remain isolated and do not escalate is open and honest communication. None of us can or will forget the tragic situation that occurred last August. The shooting death of Peter Njong was devastating for his family, the county police officer involved, and for our community at large. I'm very grateful for the extraordinary efforts made by the Njong family and Chief Tom Major and the police department to work to try to address all of the concerns and questions at face-to-face meetings to bring the community together. The frank and open dialogue, not just at the time of the shooting, but throughout the following investigation, was a very positive step. Our thoughts and prayers remain with the Njong family and the officer involved with the shooting. We're here to support everyone as they deal with this very difficult matter. They say that even in the darkest hour, we need to find a little light to carry on. And the light from this tragic situation is the commitment from all parties to forge strong bonds and to work together to address all issues so we can build an even better community. We live in a very dynamic and growing region, and while that brings with it incredible benefits, it also brings with it responsibility. Responsibility to work harder, to reach out to new residents and to new immigrants. Responsibility to address new challenges with new innovative resources and initiatives. But responsibility is also there for our residents. The responsibility to work together for the benefit of the entire community. The responsibility to be active members of the greater community and to let us in government know your concerns and your worries. Today's town hall meeting represents the effort of all of us to live up to those responsibilities. We are on a journey together. Today we are taking more bold steps towards our goal of keeping our region the nation's best place to live, to work, and to raise a family. Thank you all for joining us here today. Thank you for your commitment to your community and to our greater community. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doug. In putting together today's program, we extended an invitation to His Excellency Jerome Menduga, who is the Ambassador of Cameroon. And he accepted our invitation, and we planned to welcome him here today. However, I just learned just a few minutes before the program that Ambassador Menduga has been called back to Cameroon and is leaving, in the process of leaving as we speak. But we're very honored that there is a representative, there is an individual here today from the embassy, and I would like you to welcome the First Secretary of the Cameroon Embassy, Mr. Carson Dongo. Next, representing County Executive Jack Johnson, I'd like to introduce Beth Wong. Beth?
Thank you, Bruce. My name is Beth Wong, and I think some of you members of your community I have met during the time that when Mr. Johnson was invited to host a reception. As you're all aware, your community is very dear to Mr. Johnson, who is the Prince George's County Executive. Very dear in the sense that one members of your leaders has been appointed to his administration. His name is James Apue. He would love to come here today and join with you. Unfortunately, due to his previous commitment, he has a lot of things to do. And so that's the reason why I'm here to represent him. But let me just say something about what's going on in Prince George's County. And I want to talk about one of his initiatives very dear to his heart. When Mr. Johnson was elected as county executive, he had launched different initiatives, and one of them is called Livable Community Initiatives. It is called LCI. These initiatives focus on a strategic plan that will guide, support, and assist the government, residents, and business in the creation and implementation of principles that will result in a healthy, safe, litter-free environment and promote more livable communities in Prince George's County. He believes every resident, citizens in Prince George's County is entitled to a clean, healthy, and safe environment which to live and work. Statistics have proved that clean environments are more stable, hold property values, have less criminal activity, and produce higher test scores. Clean environment also invite higher levels of pride about where we live, higher economic development, and stronger educational system. As you can see right now, these initiatives are bringing dramatic changes. And you can see one of them where the county executive have opened up the Capitol Center. This is located in Largo, Maryland, and which is adjoining to the FedEx. Recently also, after a battle of 10 years litigation, the National Harbor just had their groundbreaking. And this is a $10 billion project that's being located in Prince George's County. So he's very excited on this project. Mr. Johnson made a commitment to restore, preserve, and conserve Prince George's communities. However, it would be impossible for him to develop and implement these promises without your help. He needs you, he needs your involvement to live a sustainable, livable communities, and he hopes he can be a part of this effort. He asked me to encourage all of you to continue a dialogue on part of his administration, and that means making communication through different agencies. And one of the things I'm going to do is that, bring some of the issues probably later in the panel. So please, if there's any issues that you would like, please let me know. And again, please continue to invite him because he loves your community. Thank you.
We're very pleased to have a representative of Mayor Anthony Williams with us today. Please welcome the Secretary of the District of Columbia, Cheryl Hobbs Newman.
Good afternoon. On behalf of Mayor Williams and the residents of the District of Columbia, thank you very much for inviting us to be part of this regional town hall meeting. As the Secretary, my responsibility is to not only be a liaison to the community, be a liaison to the international community. And it's very important to us that you all feel that we represent you and that we hold you high in esteem in our city. We don't have a very, very large Cameroon community in Washington, D.C., but that which we have, we are very, very grateful for and we value tremendously. One of the things that we want to do here today is we want to explain to you, give you information, and to assist you in the services that we have in the District of Columbia. With us today, we have representatives from the Health Department, from our Police Department, from our Department of Consumer and Regulatory Affairs, which deals with licenses and permits, and also from our Human Rights Office. And I'm sure that they will be able to give you some very valuable information. In addition, we also have a representative from our libraries, and we ask that you take advantage of the library facilities that we have now, and you also look at some of the improvements and the changes that we're about to do in our libraries. One of the things that is happening today is that Mayor Williams is president of the National League of Cities, and he's hosting about 3,000 mayors from around the country. And on his agenda is the fact that we not only have to look at our cities and our towns, but we also have to look beyond our borders. We have to look at our international friends. And in the case of Washington, D.C., we have many. We have the largest contingent of international delegates in this country. So the mayor finds that that's a very valuable resource for us because we have the ability to tap into the things that are important to you, and we have the ability to incorporate you into our community and to allow you to teach us on the importance of the things that mean much to you. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for inviting us. I encourage you to participate in our panels and our tables to get information from us. One of the things I want to share with you is in the District of Columbia, we have a mayor's call center. Any issues, any problems, any concerns that you have, and any questions that you may have, you can call this one number and somebody will be able to assist you. That number is 202-727-1000. Again, 202-727-1000. And as you talk to the representatives that are here today, they will also be able to give you that information. As the secretary, I am always at your disposal, as is my office, and you can call that same number if you need any assistance. Thank you, and have a good day.
And now we're going to hear from a representative of the Cameroonian community, and it's my great honor to introduce Mr. Christmas Atem Abini, the chair of the Cameroonian Cultural Festival Foundation.
The Cameroonian community is a very huge community in this area. We come from Cameroon, Central Africa, a country that is in Central Africa, the size of California. We are people of diverse culture. That will tell you that we fit right into this region because this is a multicultural region. And most Cameroonians are very educated people, very civilized people, and they are very high law-abiding citizens. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, Ambassador Jerome Induga, whom we know is not here, he was called this morning back to Cameroon. Honorable Duncan, Honorable Anthony Williams, His Royal Highness Fona Nyangwe, fellow friends, and citizens of the metro area, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to begin my statement with a very short poem from Emily Dickinson. If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain. If I can ease one life the aching, or cool one pain, or help one fainting robin unto his nest again, I shall not live in vain. This very short poem, to me, summarizes the brief life of our late brother, Peter Ayoumpe Njang, who left us under the circumstances we all know. What prompted the urgency of this town hall meeting today is the death of Peter Njang. Although many of us did not know Peter Njang while he lived, we are today and in the continuing future sharing in his dying. Peter did not live in vain, because through him we are today going to try to stop hearts from breaking. Peter did not live in vain, because from today his life may ease one aching life. Because from today his life might cool pains and help a fainting robin onto his nets again. In a moment, a representative of late Peter Njang's family will come up here and express the sentiments of that family. We are all here today because we are interested in community organization and enhancement. African immigrants face formidable challenges in the American society. From the decades of the 90s to the present era, they continue to be a tremendous flow of immigrants who arrive in the United States in general and the greater Washington area where we live in particular, in terms of numbers, origins, and cultural diversity. It is not only necessary but imperative that the social, economic, and political institutions of both state and local governments of the American society be restructured to match these demographic changes. There is every indication that immigrants will continue to be a major force for change. The influence of newcomers and their children on local communities, or on the path of integration of local communities, lies at the heart of many social and economic changes in this region. By coming to the Cameroonian community and using it as a model to and integrate the various other immigrant communities, our local political leaders have made the right choice and a step in the right direction. The uniqueness of the Cameroonian community shouts out. The Cameroonian people were born with the blessings of diversity and a lesson to the world on how people from very diverse cultures can appreciate differences and live peacefully together. With well over 250 ethnic groups, 2 official languages, in a country the size of California, Cameroonian immigrants come to this society well schooled in tolerance, civility, work ethics, and to be law-abiding. Our community is highly educated in every known discipline and profession, hardworking. The Cameroonian community is experiencing a positive engagement towards socioeconomic advancement. We are facing the challenges of immigration, positively participating in the affairs of our new homes, and this is indicative by the wave of immigrant Cameroonians who have become citizens. We also take great joy in preserving our identity and our rich cultural heritage. The success rate of our children who in school at all levels is very high compared to other immigrant communities. We are also sensitive to gender issues. Our women are excelling in various professions, beating records in schools, running their own businesses, and providing exemplary community leadership. We know American politicians can fully appreciate our uniqueness and qualities because the cultural diversity of the United States of America is its greatest political and economic advantage and strength. As a people, we are not looking for handouts. We are looking for an honest, constructive engagement. We are asking for partnership through collective engagement such that the rich human capital and cultural wealth that is in the Cameroonian community should not go untapped. In a moment, one of the great minds in our community, Dr. Steve Andose, will be addressing the issue of integration, how we see it. His expose will be very significant and telling to the issue of community empowerment that facilitates the heavy task of building and maintaining civilized democratic societies like ours. To this end, we would educate ourselves, prepare ourselves, and create the right understanding that will save lives and avoid incidences like the one that led to the death of Peter Njang. By the end of this meeting, the search for a common ground should lead us to have an agreement with an implementation monitoring committee with a community-chaired body charged with supervising the implementation of relationship between our community and the regional administrators and agencies to organize discussions with the population aimed at building a mutually beneficial engagements between us and our political leaders. We should leave this meeting affirming our mutual desire to further deepen our cooperation for the benefit of our people, our communities, and our governments. On our part, we, the Cameroonian community and the Cameroonian people, we promise to consolidate our resourcefulness to the furtherance of the values of this society. We share the common desire to promote and entrench all that which is virtuous in us and our localities and administrations. Let me conclude by thanking you, the family of late Peter Njang, for joining us in this initiative that honors the life of your beloved brother and son. Peter's soul should rest in peace. A lot of people worked very hard in planning this meeting, and it is just right to thank them for their sacrifices. I would say thank you to Ms. Parker Hamilton, Ms. Tina Clark, Ms. Anise Brown, Captain Cunningham, Ms. Karine Belinga, Ms. Emma Osong, Dr. Samuel Moki, Mr. Ivo Tasong, Mr. Daniel Akwo, Mr. James Afwe, Mr. Andre Ken, Dr. Ernest Simo, Mr. Emmanuel Bobga, Dr. Joseph Nkwanyo, Dr. Henry Mba, Ms. Diane Daga, Mr. Akwo Iseme, and Mr. Ndongo, First Counselor, who is here with us today. Let me also thank Mr. Bruce Meyer for accepting and promoting the proposal to have this very significant town meeting. I will now invite a member of Peter's family to come up here and say a word or two. Thank you very much.